thank you so much for being here today. My name is Manat Kaur, and I'm an Ashoka Young Changemaker Fellow. Can you start by telling me a little bit about the Riekes Center and the work that you do?
Sure. The Riekes Center is an educational organization, a nonprofit, and it uses the arts, fitness, and nature, also community service, to help people of all ages and all backgrounds accomplish their goals, like explore an interest, pursue a passion, or develop a career. And the environment and the culture is very important. There's no labels and no limits. Each participant is as important as anyone in the history of the world, and anyone can come and participate, regardless of their ability to pay or perform. And we impact about 7,000 participants annually.
Wow, that's incredible. And in the last few months, in light of the pandemic, you have delivered many face shields now to workers across the Bay Area. Can you talk about what inspired you to make an impact?
Sure. Well, our community service department does whatever in the spirit of helping others. So it's about helping people, and it always has been. So in this case, whatever would be face shields, and the others would be the local healthcare workers who are. It's a very desperate situation because they're in danger when they don't have the face shields. Now, I don't want to take credit for somebody else's good deed, and it's called the DIY PPE, do-it-yourself personal protector equipment, an organization. It's an amazing thing that they've done. Some individuals saw that there was a problem. They had the foresight and the insight to understand in advance there was going to be a terrible problem. And so they created an opportunity. They'd never been in manufacturing, and they created a company, researched the face shields, found a great product, funded it. It's amazing what they've done, and then called us and asked us if we could help them with assembling. So they created the kits, and then they needed help assembling them. And so we turned our community service project over to that, and people just volunteered, and it was an amazing process. And they had other volunteers. We were their largest volunteer for assembling the kits. So we've created over 10,000 kits. They, as of today, have given out 28,992 face shields.
Wow.
It's just been amazing. I'm so proud of what they've done.
And in doing so, you've shifted the focus of Riekes from a center for human enhancement to now one of these leading organizations making an impact. Can you touch a little bit on that transition and what it was like for you?
Sure. What it was like for us wasn't a big transition because that's what we were doing anyway. So our community service department has honestly always done whatever in the spirit of helping others in terms of what is needed. The degree to which this was a need is earth-shattering. In other words, the fear and the problems where healthcare workers are putting themselves on the line without proper equipment is tragic in a way. You see what I mean? It's absolutely essential as something that had to be done. So I don't want to take the credit for DIY PPE because what they did was monumental. What we did actually was normal for us. So as you know, anyone at Riekes doing community service will do whatever in the spirit of helping others. The volunteer effort for the Riekes community, we had more people wanting to volunteer than we could do. And this was a very monumental task. This was difficult to assemble these kits. It took 6 to 8 hours to assemble a kit of
Wow.
250, and it was difficult. I realized they had never done this before, manufacturing. So this was all a create and an invent. So, that constantly they were running out of different resources, like the bands that they used, they had to change from elastic to polyester to different things. And we had different people who were heroes at the Riekes Center helping us to organize us to get it done. And so I just was amazed by the outpouring of support from the Riekes community to help assemble these kits. So to answer your question about how to turn the organization around, an aspect of our organization is community service. So there's arts, fitness, and nature where participants accomplish their individual goals, but then there's community service where you do whatever is needed. And so this was definitely needed, and people were so inspired to do it that it was an easy turnaround.
And can you touch a little bit on the role of collaboration and teamwork throughout this process?
Absolutely, and that's essential. So the task upon this DIY PPE, I think, was pretty impossible because that's not what they did, and they had to come up with 30,000 masks, to start manufacturing this and find out and research what's the best way to do it, all that. And so in terms of collaboration, their organization worked with other organizations to get that done. Then when she talked to us, people there asked us about helping, we had to invent how are we going to do this. So, that making face shields isn't part of our operation generally. So we turned to different people with expertise within our community. And like Michael McNally, who's a person who has great expertise, Robert Anguiano, Fritzie Marston, different people came through with expertise in areas, and then we had to experiment. One of the key things in accomplishing something is not letting failure impede your ability to keep moving forward. And so as we learned how to do things better and differently, there was a very much a collaborative and cooperation effort. And that's essential when you're doing something that hasn't been done before. So I was, a lot of the times people get upset when it's not perfectly done in the way that they want. And this wasn't the case. People were very, very appreciative and very sensitive, and were very good about how they got along with that. So I was proud of our people who were working. And it was the beautiful thing about this. I think it was really good for them because these are people sheltering in their homes. So people would come and pick up the kits that DIY PPE would drop off, and then they would take them to their home. And it was all done with no contact. So they'd drive up to the building, open the trunk of their car. We'd send somebody out with gloves and mask, put it in the trunk. They'd take it home, and then they'd assemble it. One of the people from the Riekes Center film department made a film on how to assemble them. As different products ran out from a resource standpoint, we had to keep innovating and working on different films. And it was done with them, with DIY PPE.
And how did you navigate these difficult challenges? Because I know it can often feel overwhelming when you're just starting to make a difference and then now there's a roadblock. So how do you manage that and keep going?
That's exactly what you said about cooperation and collaboration. The spirit, in terms of the mantra of our community service department, is whatever in the spirit of helping others. So it has to be, your foresight is about helping others and not worrying about yourself. So when people would get frustrated, they would just tell us this is the problem, and then we'd work for a solution. So there was so much working for solutions that it was a beautiful process, and it bonded people together. And in terms of people at their homes, these are all different ages, from very diverse people, all different kinds of people. We have a very diverse population, and it was neat to see everyone working together. Not just neat, it was beautiful. It was the new normal, to have people working together for the benefit of helping a common good.
And have you seen how becoming change makers and making an impact is helping these people as well?
Yes, I see it in the youth who are doing it and in the parents who are doing it, because there's no age. You're working together. It's not a hierarchical age situation. It's a collaborative family situation. And it was so beautiful for the families to unite on something that they could do, and they had to work out together. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like often young people struggle to see what can they do to make an impact. So what advice would you give to young people who want to become change makers and do something for their community?
I think people who want to be change makers really look to inside themselves, so the things that bring them the most joy and appreciation, and then not worry about failure or not worry about their own personal role relative to other people, but worry about getting things done. So the key thing is not doing something because of external validation, but doing something because of internal validation. Validation might not be the right word, but something that makes you feel good from the inside out and not blessed from the outside in. Does that make sense? So it's not something that gives you an award. It's something that gives you a reward internally.
Definitely. And can you just touch on how people, like a single individual, can make an impact during this time? And it doesn't really need to be like a huge organization or like a company, but just one person has so much power.
The beauty of this time is that there's so much need. When you look at so many people who can't function, you look at the thing that you can function. Um, so the person who you're talking about has certain deficiencies and certain competencies. Look to what other people have as deficiencies. So there's people who are older who are shut in. Can you reach out and talk to them? So in terms of storytelling, hearing someone else's story, there's so many people shut in who can't move. they're seniors, and they're very at risk, and there's a lot of fear. One of the things I didn't tell you is the tremendous problem with these healthcare workers who are laying their lives on the line and don't have proper equipment. It was just so beautiful to see how joyous they were for what we were doing. And I believe the collective spirit of that, all the people making the shields, can feel that in some dimension. Do you know what I mean? That they've made a difference. That's what I meant by they feel it from the inside out. They don't have to hear bugles and drums about it. If you can feel it inside yourself, is there a better thing? So I just think that's the time right now for people, as you said, these change makers, to make an individual contribution is unbelievable. It's just beautiful. And so if they look at it from the inside out, and what can I do? Everybody has competencies. You see what I mean? So it's just a great time to do that.
That's beautiful. And can you touch a little bit about the testimonials you've received for your work, and like how many hospitals you've distributed the face shields to?
Okay, so now, and I want to make sure that we're not taking credit for DIY PPE. So we assembled them. They pick them up at the Riekes Center. So people go to their homes, assemble them with their families, bring them back, and then they come and pick them up and they take them to the hospitals. 28,992 shields have been given out. They gave them out in the order of the most deaths. So they looked at the places that were most at risk and who had the greatest risk. So some of them is, in San Mateo County, San Francisco, Santa Clara County. I don't know if I should be saying the names of the hospitals just because of the thing previously said about the numbers of deaths. And so that's all this company DIY PPE and what they've done. But it's, as I look at the different hospitals and I see the testimonials from the caregivers, the healthcare workers, I don't think you could be more grateful, because it's literally a life-saving apparatus for them. Because try to imagine they don't have masks and shields and gloves and the things that they need. These shields are they're plastic protectors that go over their face that are really good. So they've made really first-class things. The other thing they did about this is they researched and found a way to make them reusable so that they'll be helpful of creating a solution to this problem.
And how can making a change also help promote optimism and inspire people?
I know, I can see it in the people who've made the masks and made the shields. So our constituents, the people from the Riekes Center, are thanking us. So we're thanking them and they're thanking us because they feel they're making a difference. They know they're making a difference. And that's what I meant by the inside out as opposed to the outside in. You know it. And in terms of their ability to help people, it's a given.
Right. And what advice would you give to other people who want to start something similar in their own hometowns?
I'd have them call DIY PPE to find out what the thing is. And do you mean something similar as in the face shields or something just similar?
Face shields are just something to make a difference.
Okay, in terms of making a difference, you hit on it earlier when you asked me about collaboration. So I know a lot of people who are hard charging and want the sun shining on them and want rewards shining on them. And that's more singular. When you really want to do community, the word community is community. It's about other people and helping other people. To do that, you have to be willing to collaborate and it has to become natural. And so through collaboration, through working with other people, the ability to work with others is paramount and it's essential. So I think that's when they find a topic that they feel that they can help with, if they find the organization and remember that listen and have ears and what does the organization want? What does the organization need? Remember, in terms of human connections, that's the most important thing, is to have ears, listen, and then feel for the people that you're working for and with. Does that help?
That was perfect. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Well, I want to thank you for doing this for us. And I just think what you're doing in helping create change makers is going to make the difference in change for sure.
Of course. Thank you so much, Gary, for coming and talking about the Riekes Center and DIY PPE's work. It's amazing what you're accomplishing, and I'm excited to see what's next. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much. Take care. Thank you.